Hi, my name is Michael Freund, and I'm going to be walking you through my level today. So first things first, we walk up right to this little enclosed area with lots of cars. And you can see it's the old-timer prefab. Now, kind of stuck in here, but obviously, judging from that little message, we can get out by taking one of these little rocks, just kind of tossing it. So what happens there is there's a collider on the front, which plays the animation and then the audio cue. And then it allows us to step right up and exit out. We come along over to this little pathway here, which is etched out with the terrain painting texture. And there's a door over in the foreground there, and we can open it by pressing that button. And their audio cue lets us know that it was activated. There's more doors coming up, so you can just go right ahead and try to open them with these consoles. So that's one. I'm sure the next one's up top, but we don't have any way to get over to it, unfortunately. So since the platform's locked, we gotta knock it free. Something heavy. So maybe, if we look around... Hey, what's next to that pickup over there? Oh, something heavy. Nice. So we just carefully walk this up. This takes a minute because it's quite heavy. A lot of mass and a very low level of drag on it, so it's hard to maneuver. So that's one. And don't let go, because there's actually two up here. Oh, there we go. Let's move that out of the way real quick, and door controls are ours. Okay, so proceeding into the next area, we're going to combine those mechanics a little further. Got to clear these platforms and also the doors to clear the path out to the truck that we're trying to get to. Now this switch system's a little bit trickier because the controls don't simply do one door at a time. That does two, and this one does two again. So the right combination is this one on the left, and then this one on the right. That frees up all three doors. But we're not done just yet, because these platforms are still too high for us to jump up to. So following this pickup over here will lead us to the hammers in this corner. Take one of these. And just get a little closer. There we go. Clear away these struts, one at a time. Another one. So that makes two. Got one more platform. Let's see if it'll behave for us. A little bit of trouble here with the physics. Alright, that's one down. And there we go. Nice. It's all set. Don't forget to grab the pickups. And we're all done. Get out to the objective, jump in the truck, and get rewarded with this animation.
Hey everybody, my name is Chris Day, and this is my level Poseidon's Bounty. So first thing we're going to do is walk in this room and pick up this note where we learn that there's a trident that we need to pick up to open up a statue in the center of this old abandoned library with an old treasure underneath. So you can see the statue over there. We have all these orange barrels that when we hit them with a block, they blow up, and we can use these to break these walls. So we're going to pick up the first piece of the trident right there and keep going. And So here's a little side wall where, you can blow that up, and there will be a little extra pickup over there. We can blow up this wall to keep progressing. And we'll pick up this little block over here, put it down so we can hop up over here. And then cross this little gap over here. And of course there's a river running through the center of this building because this is the post-apocalypse, so why not? So first thing here, we're going to grab this little block and we're going to get to our first little pressure plate door. And the door is going to open and the pressure plate's going to depress. But first we're going to run back here and pick up the second piece of the trident. And we're going to keep running. So this is a split path here, but just for time's sake, we're going to take the quick route. But we could go around and end up being underneath this floor where we'd come out here. And there's some extra pickups and a little bit to explore down there. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go to our second door where we're going to place the first block and it's going to roll right off, but that's okay. And we'll get our second one, which we'll place right there, and grab our third piece of the trident. Now right here in the center, this is actually the final piece of the trident, the main shaft. Through there is another way to explore. There's a collapsing floor there with some extra pickups. But it's not really the way forward, so we're going to move to our third pressure plate door, which has these different shaped boxes that will trigger these different pressure plates. And let's see, they make a noise when you have the wrong one over the wrong plate, so that one goes there. And this big guy goes right over here. And then this one is going to go right over here. And then finally, we're going to pick up the little one, take it all the way to the end over here, and drop it. And the door opens, and we can crawl underneath here, take this box with us so that we can climb up this little gap. And grab this one and move it so we can jump up here, crawl underneath this door. And here's the other side of that collapsing bridge with a nice little cash pickup. And we'll pick this up. So these are more pressure plates, but they're up on ledges this time. So I know that we can pick up these and throw them over there, but the actual intention is to place them on the ground to give you that little bit of extra height so that you can put them up there. That one's fell off, but it still triggered it, which is nice. And this can get put over there. We are going to need it for this third one. And we're going to take it over here and use this to give us a little bit of extra height. Oh, or we're just going to drop the box. That's fine too. There we go. So that should have triggered our button. And oh, it's because this one is missing its button or its box. There we go. And the door should be open now. Yep. And we come to our kind of final walkway. We got another little cash pickup over there. But the floor is fallen out over the main chamber of the library. So we need to go ahead and come over here, pick up this box, because we got another one of the destructible walls in the way of the center of the building. We're just going to carefully walk over this platform or this walkway so that we don't drop this box or fall down, because we don't want to walk all the way back around. And we'll blow up that final wall so that we can reach the statue. And then we walk to this center, this little pedestal, and press E. And there is a little prompt there, but the objective thing covered it up. And the statue slides open. We can crawl underneath. And And sweet scrap. So we got a couple little pickups here, you know, an old battery, an old figurine, some tinned food, and a case of water. Who doesn't need that stuff in the apocalypse? Maybe not exactly the treasure that we were looking for, but, you know, something nonetheless. And we come to our final hallway here, and we can see daylight after exploring this abandoned library. And we approach the exit. And, oh man, there was a cave-in. Well, I guess it's a good thing that we got everything that we needed.
I'm Jordan Hamer, and my level is part hunting. The primary goal of the player is to get all of the machine part collectibles and all of the cash collectibles, but their starting objective is to just find a way inside this building. Before they do that, there's a dumpster to their left which can be moved with the grapnel, which, if they do so, they can just move it enough to where they can slide past it inside the back there, and they'll find a hidden cash collectible. The cash collectibles are not required, but they're a nice bonus. Once that's collected, they can head back out to the main alley, turn to their left to go to the back segment, and they'll see a bunch of boxes that can be moved with their grabnel. Before they head back there, there's another collectible hidden behind dumpsters to their right, and it's another cash collectible. Once that's picked up, they can take one of the boxes and pick it up with the grabnel and move it with them towards the open window that they saw earlier. And that's how they are going to get inside the building. Moving the box over to the window, they can just put it in place however they want to best jump on it, and then they can use it as a platform to get inside, like so. Once inside, they'll get an objective to find the missing machine parts, and to their right, they'll see a force field ramp, which is the first major mechanic of this level. Using it to get up to the second level, they'll find a machine part, the first of which they've seen, and a little note about it. With that, they can jump back down to the first level, and then swim across the water to get to the second half of this room. Doing that, the first thing they'll spot is a button that they can press with E. And pressing said button will open up another force field so they can reach the second level. But before they do that, they need to go to the left to get an objective that tells them that they need to find something to open the door. Heading up the ramp, they find just that, the second major mechanic of the level, a power sphere. Picking up the power sphere with their grabnel, they can jump back down to the first level and place it in the receptacle as the note instructed them. Doing so will unlock the door. But before they do, finding the machine parts in this room objective is not yet done, so they can use their grabnel to move this vent cover and crouch in. And then once they uncrouch, they'll find 2 machine parts, completing that objective. There's one more thing that they can optionally do before they head to the next room, is there is a cash collectible hidden in the forest to their left. And getting over the terrain and heading in there, they will find that hidden cash collectible plus a note about it. Once they have that, they're free to head into the next room. Immediately going through the door, they will find they have another objective to find machine parts, and they have no way of getting up to the second level. So looking to the right, they see 2 more buttons that their character comments might activate force fields, and pressing E, they find that they do. And there's now 2 force fields, one to get them up to the second level, and one to get them across the barrier. And they can just head across those. And then to their right, they can jump off the force field and onto the barrier to get another collectible. With that picked up, they can jump back down to the bottom level and find that they need to unlock another door. To their left, they see another force field ramp that leads up to a ledge with the power sphere. Jumping up there, they can head up and pick up the power sphere and take it back down to the first level with them, as they did with the first one. And looking across the way, they can see the receptacle. So what they need to do here is they need to move the power sphere however close to it they want, however close to the ledge they need, and then move the force field with their grapnel, because the bottom portion of it can be interacted with. And they can only move it horizontally along this rail. And you can either use the grapnel to do it, or you can get behind it and push it. Or you can just let it slide on its own, whichever is easier for the player who's playing it. And with that momentum set, and with the ramp pushed up to the ledge, the player can pick up the power sphere with their grapnel and carry it backwards up the ramp. And once they manage to get it on top of the ledge, they can place it in the receptacle and unlock the door, just like they did in the previous area. And they'll get the door opened objective completed, like they did previously. With that done, they can jump back down, and there's no other collectibles in this room, so they can head to the next one, the final hallway. In the final hallway, they'll find one last note and the last collectible, completing the machine parts objective and completing the level. From there, all that's left to do is walk up the final force field, out the window, and get ready to do the next level.
Hello everyone, my name is Derick Caldwell, and this is my level called The Lab. In this level, the goal is to get to the top of the lab, collect the data, and get out. To accomplish this goal, we're going to need to pick up one of these, which represent broken pieces of the concrete outside. We can just toss that through the glass and jump through and get inside. Once inside, we can see that there is a desk here and a door. To open the door, we need to go under here. And we can see there's a keypad on the wall. If you'll stand back up, there we go. There's a keypad on the wall. We push that. If we push E there, it'll just open that door right up. Inside here, we can see our way is blocked that way. And this way, there are some crates that we can sort of move to the side, so we can kind of squeeze through here. And apologies about the frame rate. There's some problems with the HUD lighting. It's making the frames. It's making it a little hard to move things. There we go. Once inside here, this is a little office area. We can go in this cubicle to collect an item that we will need for later, the blue key card. This is a little break room where people would, eat, and that's like a refrigerator and countertop. There's going to be tables in here. I had some trouble importing them for whatever reason, but they will be here, and you can see there's some electrified water there. You can kind of hear the electricity going, so that will damage the player if they land on that. So there'll be some tables that we can kind of jump across. This is just a missing texture here, but that's supposed to be a security gate that's rolled down in front of the elevator. Once we cross the tables, we'll come into this bathroom here, which there's another collectible right over here in this stall. And then we can see that there's a weakened wall here, which we can grab with our grapnel. Kind of break that down so we can get inside. Apologies about the missing door here. But we can go ahead and use the blue key card to open the doors up, get in the elevator, and ride up to the second floor. Upon reaching the second floor, we see that there is a locker room here, and on top of one of the lockers is the red key card, which we need to access the secure laboratory. But first we have to come into the first laboratory, which is all strode with lab equipment, and to get through it, we can kind of crouch under here, or if we want to collect a collectible, we can crouch under this one instead. And then we've got to crouch under this fallen equipment here as well. And we come into this little decontamination room. We can walk through these different sections, collect another collectible along the way, and one last one in the secondary locker room here. There's another keypad on the wall, and with the red key card, we can get inside here. Once inside, we can see that they're doing some weird experiments on this guy here. And this is the computer bay where we can go ahead and collect our data. And then we can grab one of these tanks off of the pedestal. Really heavy. glass filled with water, obviously. Hard to move. But if we take this, and again the frame rate is making this quite a bit more difficult, but we can see that it will break away the wall here for us. And then if we can, oh, let's see if I can go ahead and toss it over there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And then I can kind of squeeze out through the broken wall here. Alright, and then once outside, we can see there's a little bit of water down there. We can jump down, and we will go ahead and transition to our next level.
Alright, hey everyone, my name is Dylan Withrow. I'm going to be running through my level. Its name is Train Track. So, the player is tasked with going in and finding a data chip. It's somewhere near the interior of the train station. The player notices there's a door, or the scrapper notices a door and says, hey, look, there's a door. The player should probably move forward, fall through this, and then now land within the train, or within my level. There's the main asset. It's repeated multiple times in my level. There's a collectible there. Move forward and do this. Now arrive into this room. There's a collectible over there, behind that another of my asset, and behind that box there, and over there, and over there. Excuse me. And the scrapper will be like, hey, look, those walls over there are pretty weak. Let's use the trolleys, shall we? And the scrapper will, or the player will interact with it by using the grab null and right triggering on it. And will break down the wall. It should take a little bit of time. But once they have enough of it broken down like that, they should be able to just run through it. Boop. There you go. They'll arrive into this room. There's a collectible over there, but nothing else in here. And there will be a console right there, highlighted by a red light. Player will walk over it, press E on it, and then we'll be here. And then they will now move down into this area, into the water level, falling into it. The scrapper will say, oh, look, it's flooded. He'll make a note of it and just be like, hey, just be careful. And they'll get a new objective about escaping the water level. While the last room was reinforcing the idea of how to use the trolleys, in here, it's about finding the console. And if they go over here and follow the tracks, don't get stuck. There you go. They'll find a console, highlight it again with the red. They'll just move up to it, press E on it, get the noise of the door opening, crawl under here, and then run over here. And then they just need to make their way through here, which they can just crawl under or move those boxes. There's a collectible there, and underneath those boxes. All of it is scrap collectibles. There is no cash collectibles, it's just scrap metal to help reinforce the idea that this is an old train station. There logically wouldn't be any cash here. Here, now they have to make their way through this area. It looks very maze-like, but it's pretty darn straightforward. It's the matter of the player just using his grab null and moving these carts into position, jumping onto them, if I can do it, and continuing. Now, there are some boxes here with a collectible hidden underneath them, but these boxes are also here for another reason. So if the player gets frustrated or would like to, they can actually build their a way up. Alright, and then just jump over, boom, now we're here, and then they move forward. Another collectible there, and then continuing forward, and now we're here. Oops. Oh. There's a trolley here. They should push it along. If not, they'll just get it prompted of like, I hope this trolley can fit under there. There's another collectible up there, so the trolley they can stop the trolley prior to hitting the wall. I know none of the trolleys are stackable or anything like that. They just can be moved. So there's no problem of it like getting stuck in a wall or attached to a wall. So now the player just can push these along. This helps reinforce the idea of the use of the trolleys, like the mastery of it. And they needed both of these sets of trolleys to be able to jump up here onto the train. And now they arrive here. Now they fall through. They can use that trolley to get that collectible, but it is not needed to continue. And they'll find the console going, here it is. And then you can press E on it, and it will unlock another. And as they continue forward, the scrapper will say to himself, got the data chip, and found a way out of here. Double done. And then, the door is kind of broken, so the player unfortunately has to go through it. And broken as in that it was designed that way, not broken as it was having errors. And then the player just leaves out of here, and that's the end of my level. And the scrapper says, hey, what else do I need to go do?
Hello, my name is Daniel Macias, and I will be walking you through my part of the level that we have created today. My part is the last in sequence of our levels, and as we leave the train area, you will come over here into a hilly forest area where we can go ahead and use this fallen log as a bridge over the river. Just like that, sort of. Close enough. Coming forward once more, there is now a truck in our path that we must go ahead and grab and just slide into the river. Just like that. Make sure it doesn't come back and hit you, because that's bad. Moving forward once more, we can go ahead and see that there is a collectible up in the tree, in which we can take this big old block and go ahead and jump up there and collect security cam scraps. And as we keep moving, we head over here to this lighthouse that we just pry the doors off with. And walk inside, going up the stairs. And we can go ahead and see that there's an old bulb inside of this glass paneling, which we can just grab this rock or block and just knock out the glass. Just break everything. Walk in here, grab the lighthouse bulb, and notice that there is another little collectible over here, which just turns out to be a bunch of scrap, but it's still handy nonetheless. As we exit the lighthouse and go back down the stairs, we can see that there is a bunch of dirt over here that looks to have been recently disturbed. We can go ahead and use the gravenol and just move some of the dirt away and uncover some collectibles, which is even more scrap metal. Moving further, we can find a little campsite, fire pit, and we find a little collectible hidden right behind it. Some boat keys. We keep moving, jump over the old fallen tree, and head over and find this old collapsed boat. Beached boat. I guess same thing. We move all these little collectibles and find that the boat propeller is still sitting right under there, which we can just reach in and grab it. Come back out. We walk through past this way, and we can find what appears to be an ATV. We simply go ahead and grab the engine, and we keep moving forward. And what appears to be an old truck. And look, there's a little gas can in there too. Hop up and grab it. And we keep moving and head over towards the house, but the door's already opened. And it looks like other people have been here before us. So we just keep moving, and we start exploring the rooms. we head into the master bedroom, and we find a false panel, which we can just sort of pry off there. And get rid of it. We walk in, and it's an old vault, full of a bunch of money and scraps. Heading back outside, we can go ahead and go upstairs and start exploring these rooms as well. Now, the next room of note is over here, which appears to have a collapsed bookshelf. We simply crawl under it and head over here to an old cracked wall. We start pulling and or pushing the wall apart. And it's a safe room with some supplies like food and water, as it states in the message. We head back out, crouch under the bookshelf, and simply walk out. Now we head over here and go to the boathouse in and of itself. We push open the revolving door and we head on in. At which point we fix up the boat with the gas, light bulb, engine, and propeller that we have found, and we drive off back to the bastion and end the level. Thank you for joining with me today on this walkthrough, and I hope you enjoy our level.